just come off a wonderful weekend, I thought. Even though it was a little bit drizzly at first, Sunday turned out to be a very nice day, a very relaxing day. It was overall just great all the way around. And so I had a pretty decent weekend, I'd say. And I'm bringing you this little video because something came to my attention yesterday when we were eating dinner. We were eating dinner with some folks that we haven't seen or heard from in a while. You know, it's like we haven't heard from them in a while. We're like, hey, let's go get some. My wife's like, hey, let's go get some dinner. And we did and everything. It was a wonderful time. We had a wonderful time, and something caught my attention during that whole entire thing, and it's something that catches my attention from time to time, and that is how like-minded and similar individuals seem to attract each other. Well, what that means is that, for instance, your whole mindset on working out, when you finally start getting into that groove of things, and I'm not talking about, just a few weeks and then you finally quit it, or a few months you finally quit, or anything like that. I'm talking about the long-term longevity of it and stuff. When you start going there so frequently that people start knowing you by first name basis. Of course, it's a small town, so it's gonna be a little different than when you guys living in the cities. But it's like the people. It's like the big boy in the back corner. He goes, you go. That sort of deal. It's like these people start recognizing you, and it's just funny how how when you're outside of that environment, how it seems like you're somehow brought into people, or somehow people of similar persuasion or similar thoughts meet up and see each other. You know what I mean? It's for instance, I started hunting this year, or last year, and this hunting year, and I can tell you I wouldn't say, like, the similarness of people that I've talked with when it comes to when we're breaking that common ground of hunting, being able to bring it all in has been an absolute blast. And God, this is weird to explain. It's there's a saying out there: you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Okay, what does that mean? What does that really mean? What does it mean that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around? Well, in truth, that really means that you take the 5 closest people, regardless of their co-workers, family, or anything like that, the 5 people you work around the most, and find the qualities that you picked up from them that you exhibit daily on a normal basis. Now, this is a cold hard truth for some people, because sometimes some people that you may be around are bitchy and complainers and whiners. I hate to say it, you probably picked up some little bit of whining and bitchiness. That's just the cold hard truth. But it goes for everybody. That goes for everybody. And it seems like that average, it seems like you're able to attract people of similar type of persuasions, or be around people like it seems like it just naturally congregates. Now, I understand that people say that opposites attract in relationships and things like that. Now, I do believe that sometimes, in some cases, is their due. Now, the reason why this is like a relationships, like a spouse type relationships. I mean, you need that opposite, because you guys can't be exactly the same on everything. But when it comes to personal relationships, like friendships and comrades and things of that nature, you guys have to be a little bit more similar. You guys have to be similar in certain aspects to actually agree with each other. So that's just something that I've just found vastly interesting, because even though I haven't seen these people in I haven't seen I've seen that dude in those people in almost 4 years, easy. And we don't live that far apart, but we haven't seen each other in 3 or 4 years. And being able to somehow, we found very common grounds being, talking about hunting, fishing, things of that nature. We were able to find a very common ground very easily because we both were just doing it, and it's something we're interested in. We just brought it up. I mean, I brought it up. It's like, hey man, he's like, you been hunting and fishing lately? And he's like, yeah man, I got back into it this year and stuff. We started talking about it. He's like, yeah, I just got myself a brand new bow. And I'm like, I just spent money on a brand new bow myself, and we just both died laughing, just like new bow. And we started talking about, it's like, yeah, this year we're gonna actually, he's like, this year I'm gonna actually try to go to turkey hunting. And I'm like, this year will be my first time attempting it too. And we're like, dude, we'll figure it out together at this point, man. It was just super hilarious to be able to correlate something, even though I haven't spoken with this individual for 4 or 5 years. I didn't even know he was a hunter, and I'm pretty sure he didn't know I was a hunter either, or a fisher, or anything of that nature. It just seemed like a very natural thing to bring up, something very easy to bring up, and it's just funny how people, when you have similar interests and similar ideologies align, and able to bring up those type of things a lot easier. It's the same with with people who work out. Like I'm able to talk to people who work out very easily about working out, because we both just look at each other and be like, you work out? I'm like, yeah, you work out too. It's very easy to do that. It's just very easy, to bring up stuff to talk about, because we've all been in them groups and in situations to where we just sit there in silence because we have nothing to talk about. However, you just have nothing to talk about. It's probably because on a deeper type level, you have nothing similar or something in common, and it's hard to bring up anything to really talk about, try to correlate or anything, And what are you going to really talk about with people that are not similar? It's like, hey man, what do you do for a living? And it's like, I do accounting, yada yada yada. And it's like, how much can you really, as the listener, be really interested and invested in listening? And it'd probably the same vice versa if you told them what you did for a living. Hey, I work construction, yada yada yada, etc. And it's just very weird, you know what I mean? That conversation will last, but it will not last long, and you're back to the same cricket sounds, right? So yeah, I just found that kind of unique, and something, something very easier to talk, easier to talk about today, because like I said, I had a great weekend, and there was really nothing really special went on this weekend. I kind of had to work this weekend a little bit, deal with some things, and I mean, not really much went on this weekend except for good weather, good time, good dinner, good last night dinner. My dinner was excellent last night. It's been a while since I've been out to a steakhouse, and I've always been iffy about going to steakhouses and actually ordering steak from steakhouses. My stepfather has ruined steakhouses for me in general, because there ain't going to be any steakhouses that are going to be as good as the steaks he cooks. So it's kind of I'm always iffy about ordering steak from a steakhouse, not only because the price is expensive, but mainly because they usually never get my steak right, and I eat it rare. I know some people are like, that's my personal preference. A lot of Americans and stuff don't eat their steak rare. It's usually medium well, or some, or well done. And I know this is a surprise to some of you folks, especially across the pond and stuff, but to us, to most Americans, rare red meat is like this, like, I wouldn't say it's disgusting to them, but it's more along the lines of, it doesn't seem safe in the mind, right? While if you're traveling overseas as an American and you decide to order some red meat, like a venison loin or some sort of beef or something like that, you better be. They won't ask, like, typically, from what I found. Now this can vary from place to places. They won't ask you how you want your steak, your red meat to be cooked. They'll immediately assume either rare or medium rare. You have to tell them well, because the rest of the world and a lot of gourmet foods, like gourmet chefs, if you look at like Chef Ramsay, a couple of the other chefs out there, when they cook red meat, it's typically going to be rare, medium rare. That is a truth, 100%. That is just cold. That is just going to be how it is, because that is where, honestly, that's where most of the flavor is when it's rare, medium rare. I personally like rare because I remember making a bet with a friend at a Golden Corral one time. He's like, "Oh, you want to eat rare?" And I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll eat it." And I think I was like maybe 10 or 11 at the time, and I ate it, and it's like I have never went back to eating well done steak. I'm the weird one, and it's honestly that has bled into my brothers and stuff, because now that they like it rare, medium rare as well. And it's very funny because it's like at first everybody's like iffy about it, but like I said, like-minded people. My brothers and I, even though we're very different people, we still have some very similar beliefs and very similar views on life and how to handle things and whatnot. So yeah, we might have some very similar tastes when it comes to our food, especially rare food. But anyways, get back on point. It's like, yeah, we went to a steakhouse, and the first time I ordered a steak from a steakhouse in a very long time. Most of the time I'm getting some like a stuffed salmon with crab in it or something like that, something different, because like I said, steak has been ruined thanks to my stepfather. But I actually ordered a 20-ounce ribeye steak, and it was actually really, really good. I was thoroughly surprised at how good it was. And I would recommend that. I would recommend I can't remember exactly the name of it, but I would recommend eating it. I mean, I thought it was pretty good. It was Longhorns. That's a pretty good place. A new one opened up recently, close to where I live, so we went to go try it out, and it was actually pretty good. It was fairly decent. I thoroughly enjoyed it, anyways. But yeah, it just something I just want to talk about, because how like-minded people tend to somehow naturally be pulled towards each other. It's very weird, and it's very unique, and I just found that very unique in the conversation, how natural the conversations felt last night. You know, it just felt very easy to, even though we haven't seen each other in 4 years, just pick up like we haven't spoken to each other in like a day. That's just how easy it seemed. But yeah, I mean, you guys probably know that. Some of you guys probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, man, I haven't talked to this person in a while. I don't know why I haven't and stuff. Might as well go ahead and just talk to them for a little bit. And how easy it is to pick up conversations like that. And it's much easier if it's like-minded people that have very similar points of views. It doesn't have to be all the same. Everybody's going to have their own. There's going to be some differences, but it just depends on how, it's going to be like that. And you don't want to be exactly the same. It'd just be miserable. But being around people who are similar to you, especially people in our group, from what I noticed from me and the wife, ever since we finished up our Dave Ramsey situation, and I started a new career, or a new job. I took a position in a new job. My wife is about to restart school again and everything. It seems like the people we have been around are people that want to keep moving forward, professionally, financially, spiritually, morally, physically, etc., etc. These people just want to keep moving forward. They don't want to just stay exactly where they're at. They just want to keep moving forward. And these are the people that we've noticed that we've been around a good bit, a lot of the times, because these people, it's like, since we're all thinking similar things, we keep pushing each other to keep trying, to keep going forward, to keep moving. And that's just the people I've hanged around with. And let me tell you, you need to hang around people like that, because some people might be stuck in a rut right now. Some of you guys may be stuck in a rut right now, and you have no idea why you're in a rut. And I guarantee you at least one person from your past right now that is moving forward, doing something, or or I wouldn't even say they're like rich or anything like that. They're successful. There's a difference between being rich and successful. They're successful. Just have a conversation with them. It's like, don't be afraid to ask, hey, how do you manage your money? How do you do this? How should you handle something like this, you know? And get some different perspective from outside your normal group. Try to expand that group of yours, and you'll notice expanding your group outside of the normal is going to force you to grow in a different way, and then you're going to eventually end up with people that are going to be, you know, coming in to your new group and lifting you up even further and stuff. The reason why I bring this part up is that there's a lot of people who say, woe is me, can't get ahead, always trying to kick the little man, etc., etc. There's tens of fucking people out there, and I guarantee you, if I reopened up my Facebook right now, I would probably scroll through at least, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 posts of somebody bitching about the government, or, you know, bitching about, you know, can't get ahead or something like that. And it's a damn shame, because you can. It's not easy is the problem. It is not easy. And it's we all know those people. But anyways, I'm almost at work here, probably going to sip on some coffee on the parking lot and contemplate, why am I here today? But anyways, I hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you would, give me a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will look forward to hearing from you guys very shortly. And as always, work hard. Peace!